Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. My name is Justino, Jorge. This is my presentation about God's Army. I'm 17 years old. I'm 18 years old. I'm a senior. I'm in the Sonny's advisory class. And some of the focus points I want to get on today is find a way to integrate Christianity into the 21st century, because right now that's like the hardest thing to do, dealing with Catholicism, stuff like that. Being Catholic, it's like the more dominant religion. Find a way to really get the youth more involved in urban communities, because right now we see a lot of deaths, we see a lot of things going wrong with the world, and I just want to understand a way, how can the things I do for God build a better way for the urban communities, as well as describe the drastic change from Saturday night programs to God's Army. If you guys don't know, I took part in a church program called God's Army, as well as Saturday night. Since I'm the youth leader for my church, I involve them in many communities and many events to help the church out to grow in youth and stuff. So just a quick icebreaker. You guys all have a piece of paper, like a sticky note. Look at your sticky note. Now rip your sticky note. Sorry, I'm wasting your sticky note. It just rip the sticky note.
Keep ripping it?
Keep ripping. Rip it. Crumble it. Crumble it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Now wait. Try to put it back together. Drop it back together. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. You guys been doing it. Now, as you notice, you can't put it back together. If you can, there's a problem with you. But you can't put the sticky note back together. Now, I'm going to pass around a new sticky note. Oh, not the sticky note. Go over. Here are new sticky notes. I'll pass that down.
I'll hold it in the back.
Now, if you see, you guys have new sticky notes, which is important in the side, which is important for you guys to understand. For me, my post-secondary plan is I want to be a pastor. But for me, I don't like to force religion down anybody's throats. And as you see, many times our lives is like a piece of paper. Sometimes our lives are like this sticky note that we just saw. Sometimes we rip our lives up, and sometimes we try to put it back together. And when we see we can't put it back together, we just like to give up. But there's only one true way to pick our lives back together, and there's one true way to get back our pieces, which is through God. So I'm going to take you guys through some of my slides. So academic reflection, there was a lot of things I did this year that I could potentially do better in going into the next semester. I know how to work a lot better when I'm in groups. I know how to work when I'm by myself. It's really not, it's nothing I can't manage my way around with, but there's a bad thing. I am a really big procrastinator. I like to leave things for the last minute because I'm like, I think I can do it better last minute than I can actually do it on time. So that's something I want to do better going into the next semester. And hopefully just be a better group learner, because sometimes I like to shun my group out and kind of do those things on my own. My writing piece. Well, for me, like I told you guys, I want to be a, what was something?
Go again.
Stop.
You might have to use the mouse.
Lol.
Oh, exchange.
Just hit the back arrow.
Oh my gosh. My writing piece, I'm going to show you guys how it looks like, but I just want to tell you guys, like I said, I want to be a pastor as well as a theology professor, and that takes place with me going to school for about 6 to 7 or 8 years, completing my bachelor's. But for my family, they really want me to get my doctor's as well, so I can have a high reputation going into different conferences of the Seventh-day Adventist congregation and stuff like that. So that's something I want to do as well. And here's for my post-secondary plan. Click on there.
Try to use the mouse.
Well, for my post-secondary plan, this involves, I'm not going to read you guys the whole thing, but it's a lot. See, my post-secondary plan, everything that I want to do and everything that, so what's that I can have a better relationship with God as well as going into the new year and hopefully me getting into good college. This is my personal statement, and that involves as well with my post-secondary planning because I want to become a pastor. But with being a pastor, there's a lot of things that you have to worry about. One of them is financing, because in the church you have to give God back 10% of what He gives you in hopes that just to get the blessings from God that God gives to you. And with that is when I was about 14 years old, and I'll tell you guys some more about myself. When I was about 14 years old, a lot of the youth from my church actually left for reasons unknown. So what I had to do was that they didn't need the youth leader. So I was really young as a youth leader, and I was taking on this new challenge of being this whole big guy in such a small place. And I was the youngest youth leader that they ever had in that church, as well as me. There was like 10 kids who were about 18, 20 years old. So this is something that, this is something about it, stuff like that. It talks about my favorite Bible verses, it talks about the things I'm against, as well as it talks about the things that I'm for. I'm not sure for that. And for my resume here, it's I'm a great missionary worker. I'm a very good missionary worker. I have great communication skills. I was in the Boy Scout for about 6 or 7 years, so I know how to time out, I know how to get camping, I know how to do all that stuff. I enjoy hiking, I enjoy speaking in front of people. I consume my time with scriptures and reading about God. I do a lot of reading and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm the manager. At least I was the manager for the Eastside basketball team, so I had to get a job. And what's funny about this cover letter is that I had to write 2 cover letters, but I'm gonna just show you guys the first one. The first internship I had, which was working in a pregnancy gateway center. There was nothing wrong with it. It was a really great place. I went to some of the meetings they had. I went to a lot of the programs that they had. It was a really good place because there's a lot of women out there who are in the problems, who do domestic abuse, battery and stuff like that, in homeless shelters. And then this place, they took the women in. They used to have a lot of places that the organization used to call like their home, where the organization used to own and stuff like that. So it was very important that, I went to this place and this was my first ever internship. I really enjoyed it, but it really wasn't tapping into what I wanted to do as well as tapping into my passion. So I actually had to leave that place. And my passion, the LTI search process, like I said before, it was, I think it took about, I came here around late September. I think it took about December, which was it was the first time I went to my internship, which was last week. And it took a long time. Ms. Crosby and I, we found the perfect fit for me, as well as learning how to be a pastor. But one of the things I learned about being a pastor, it's not all about preaching, but it's more about loving people. It's more about spreading love through simple acts of kindness, just talking to someone, I said about how their day went. And it took me leaving an internship I had before to find an internship that I do well at. Now I'm a counselor for people with domestic abuse, drug addiction, stuff like that. And it was very good because the last week when I went to the internship, they actually asked me to pray for them. And they said that they hope I come back. So that's an internship I hope to keep going even after college, even after high school. Since it was like my first week, I really couldn't get that many pictures and stuff like that. Yeah, so dealing with the problem is that many people fail to realize that the youth have a mission, not just Christian youth. I'm not just talking about, Christian youth. I'm talking about youth in urban communities, suburban communities, youth that are in school, even young kids. It's like they have a mission. Some kids, they want to be actresses. Some kids, they want to be singers. They want to be baseball players. They want to do this. They want to do that. You see, the problem in life is many times the people who we are supposed to look up to are the same people that let us down. So dealing with that, it happens in the church as well. With me being young, when I was about 14 years old, I got elected to be the youth leader. There was a lot of people that looked at me, that looked down upon me because I was young. There was a lot of people who looked down upon me because I had these visions. I had a lot of things I wanted to do with the youth. And here it says, throughout the youth events, and I'm sure you guys have a slideshow of exactly what we do. But throughout most of the youth events, we were able to capture people's hearts. We were able to, shake and kind of start a revolution inside the church, sort of, to bring the youth back to life, to really lift the youth spirits once again, which is really important in today's society. And the purpose is for my exhibition today and for the next one, that they may find hope again, that one day they may go back to the homes of God, that one day they may just, find their peace, because a lot of kids now, they're just lost and they need a little bit of saving. It doesn't have to be with God, but it's better that it's with God than, drugs or just friends who don't have a positive attitude. Probably, this video, I don't know if you guys really read the video. Pictures on here.
Good morning, Mr. Stafford student. Today is January 11th, 2016. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America